morning, everyone. Welcome to another video. I'm Marg from Creative Stamping with Marg. Today we are going to make a double flap fun fold card. So I saw Ronda demonstrate this and thought it was an excellent way to use some of our designer series paper to show off both sides. So let's go down to my desk and we'll get started. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, you can see on my desk I have the annual catalog. If you don't have a demonstrator in Canada and you would like a catalog, this is our annual catalog. We have a mini catalog coming out soon. It starts in September, so I should have them the end of August. If anyone's interested, you can let me know. Either email me, mrgorn@shaw.ca, or go to my website, margaretgorn.stampinup.net. Okay, I've got the paper pumpkin. That's going to be the August paper pumpkin. You must subscribe by August the 10th in order to receive this one. This one is called Farmhouse Florals, and you can see there's, it looks like a teapot and some flowers, and that one stamp that they have inked up there says always here for you. And this month it will include an extra stamp set, so that's always fun. Your ink spot is Secret C. I'm going to say that's what that was. And it's going to make 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs, and you get the envelopes, of course. Pre-cut paper pieces, you get linen thread. It says sentiment stamps for the inside and outside of your card. So it looks like it's going to be a good one. There are dies that coordinate with July, August, and September. And they are called the Circle of Season dies, and that's what they look like there. $16.50 as an add-on if you wanted them. All right, so that, again, has to be subscribed to before August the 10th. So you've got some time still. All right, let's get right to this card. As I mentioned, it's called a double flap fun fold card. Ronda had demonstrated it. I've made it several times, but I thought today I'm going to make it into a more masculine card. So we're going to start with a card base that is 5.5 by 6 1/4. So it's an odd size, but then you're going to score it 1 inch at each end. So it's going to go in like this, forming our 4 1/4 by 5.5 card base. Okay, so I'm using crumb cake today. You also need a 7/8 by 5 3/8 strip of the same cardstock that you're using, and I put it through the embossing folder birch wood, so it looks like it's wood grain. So we've got that. You need 2 pieces of DSP. They are 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm using Country Woods today. Again, I said it's going to be a more masculine card. The 2 different patterns. That's like that. You'll need something for the inside, and again, I've used my favorite dies, the Texture Notes dies, and I have cut it out of Very Vanilla. This is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4 if you're interested in the size, if you don't have those dies. And you can see I've already stamped it. The stamp set I'm using again this week is Blooming Phrases. I do love this one. I used it last week using more of the flowers, but today I'm just using the word. So I stamped it with the word celebrate. And you can see it has a long tail. You don't have to ink up that tail. So I just inked it just so far, and you just get the word. Okay, you'll also need some kind of a greeting for what I'm going to say is the front of the card, and some embellishment. So what I've done is I will share with you the piece that I've cut the window out of, because it is called a, it does have a window in it. So for the window, most of the cards I made, I cut using a circle. Well, I thought I want this to be different. So I looked at my dies and I went through and I found my Nested Essentials, and I used the largest of the rounded corner rectangle, and I cut a window out. And I'm going to explain why it's off center also. But I cut that window, but then I thought, oh, it looks pretty plain. So I thought, what could go around that? Well, we have new dies called framed scene dies. I have used them before on some of my cards. So the frame on it, again, has a wood grain. Well, lo and behold, it just fits over this shape. So I thought, oh, I'm going to cut that out. I cut it out of early espresso. So this is what it looks like when it's cut out. Sorry, there's something on there. That's what it looks like when it's cut out. So it goes on and it fits right over that opening. So I was really pleased with that discovery. So that is going to be our window. And I also cut it out, the frame, I also cut it out of crumb cake. I wasn't sure which one I wanted, but I will share with you what I'm doing. I am using both of them. When you cut this frame out, you also get the rectangle that comes out of the center. Hang on to that because it's a good greeting, or if you wanted to put it back in, you can, and that's what we're going to do. I'm going to use the one that came out of here. I stamped on it, again using the blooming phrases, and put it through the birch wood embossing folder, the same as I did that little strip. So we're going to use that. And then some kind of embellishments. I went looking for some kind of leaves or something to put on here because for a guy card I didn't want flowers. So I did go to Impressions of Bloom because they have this nice leaf like that, and I cut it out of several different pieces. So I don't know, we're going to use them all. Early espresso, pecan pie, and crumb cake. So I have all of that. Okay, so let's get putting this together. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat, and I'm going to show you how we're going to start this card. Pull this out of the way. Okay. So with our card base, and I will get my bone folder, you're going to want to, once you've done your scoring, you want to burnish this very well so they lie down. Okay, and this piece I decided, you have to decide which you want to be your front. This is going to be not my front. This is going to be the inside piece. And I'm sorry, I'm going to play with it a little bit. I think I want it to go this way. And you're going to glue it just to that flap right there. So I will get my glue and hope it's running today. Yes, it is. So I want it to go on just that flap, but it doesn't go all the way to the fold. So, and it doesn't go all the way to the top and bottom. So I'm just going to put it on the glue kind of like that. And I want it, I'm going to do it this way, folded, because I want to make sure that it fits where it's supposed to fit. So you're going to look at the top, the bottom, and the edge here. Plus it has to fit in there, and it will because of its size, but you just have to make sure that you've got it within the fold. So that's that piece, and it just looks like that. Okay, now see how you can see the other side of the paper, which I really like. Okay, so that goes like that. This piece, the other piece of designer series paper, is going to go on top, and it's going to cover that designer paper on that side. So you want to make sure it goes that way enough that it's covering. Don't have to worry about this edge. And you can even move it over more if you want. The reason that I have cut that window to the right side is because when you put this down, we're going to cover up this sort of raw edge over here with our piece of embossed cardstock. So then you want your window to be somewhat centered. It won't be centered exactly, but somewhat. Okay, so that's the reason it's cut that way. All right, so we can, I'm not attaching that just yet because I want to put my frame on here. Okay, now this frame, when you cut it, you'll see it embossing, some of it cuts right through. So you have to be careful with your glue on this one. I am going to just show you. I want it to go over top, but how can I see that I've got it in the right place? I'm going to do it upside down. I'm going to do it like this. So I'm going to put it onto my grid paper very carefully, and I will show you with this on it, you're going to see a lot of the frame on the back of this. So that's why I cut another one, because I'm going to put the other one on the inside to cover that up. Okay? But you can see that I'm only going to want glue really just around the very edge of this. So I am going to just maybe move this out of the way for now and put my glue just along this edge. So a nice thin bit of glue just around here. Like that. Just making sure I've got it kind of everywhere. Okay, then I'm going to put this wrong way down, and I'm lining it up square on my grid paper here, and I'm turning it over. Okay, then I am putting, it doesn't matter which way you put this down, that way or this way, it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to center it as much as I can, like that. So I think that's the best way to do it, because it's going to be fine on the other side. Now you can see how the glue kind of seeps through that, so you're just going to have to let that dry a little bit. But while we've got it this way, I am going to put some glue on this again on the inside, and I'm going to attach my other frame. I just think it'll look better when you flip this over, and being that this is the paper that I chose with this crumb cake on the back, I thought this really blended well with the crumb cake frame. And again, we don't have to worry which way it goes, just that it's covering the dark brown. Just like that. Okay. All right. So we're going to let this dry. Looks good. Looks really good. Okay, so that's how that looks. I'm going to give it a minute to dry before I start playing with it, but I'm just going to leave it there. Then we're going to put that on, and you can see where this is going. These words are going to go on this piece, and so they're going to show through the window. Okay, while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to put in my inside piece. I've already stamped it. And I am using Very Vanilla for this. Okay. So I will just, move that out of the way and put this in. And again, you want this somewhat centered. You could add some other decoration on the inside of this one, but I didn't really want anything added to this. I thought it is going to be enough inside there. All right, so that's that. I think this should be good now. Going to just, again, I'm just gluing onto this flap. And it does go right like that. And I'm going to close the flap because I want to make sure that I've got it lined up with the paper on the right side, because I definitely want it to cover that. So you're going to place it on here, and I am going to just make sure, oops, just wiggle it up a bit. Okay, I think that's good, like that. And then this piece, you can see where this is going. It's going into there. So I'll get that put on. Okay, I'm just going to take it out for a second. I'm going to go ahead and put this piece on. So use the right side here. The embossed side is the side I want. You can use the debossed side if you wanted. And this just, I think, finishes off this edge here. Now, when Ronda Wade demonstrated this, she had 2 pieces of embossed strips, and she put one here. But when I put one there, it shows through my window, and I didn't like it. So I don't think you need a piece here. I think this looks perfectly fine. So I didn't put a piece there. Okay, so now putting this on, there are no, I'm not using any dimensionals on this card because it, sorry, it is somewhat thick. You know, you've got cardstock and 2 pieces of DSP, and then you've got the frame and everything. So it is kind of thick. So I'm just going to put glue, and you can see I did the happy birthday on one side, and I had it at the top thinking I was going to put the leaves here. Didn't like it, so I put it in the center. No one knows that that's on the back of this. So we're all good. And of course I had done the stamping before I did the embossing, so I've got it embossed the right way. So then you're just going to insert this into your window, just like that. Hopefully I say just like that. And there we have that. So that looks good. Then these leaves. Okay, the leaves I had here, and I didn't really know what to do with them. I was playing with them, and I thought, oh, lay them across the bottom, and you could put them up the sides. You could put it up the side like that if you wanted. But it kind of covered my words. So what I ended up doing was placing them kind of up the side here, like this. And again, it's like a flower arranging class, but I think it looks all right. And I just put them up the side like that. So I'm going to start with the pecan pie. And again, these have cuts in them, so the glue does somewhat show through, so you do have to be a little bit aware of that. You can do this all down. I could do all 3 of these down on my mat at the same time. Thank goodness for the silicone mat. And I'm just putting just little bits of glue on the spots that are in between the cuts. And again, these pieces are, you can trim them if you didn't want this leaf to be as big as this. So just getting the glue on here like this. All right. Okay. And I don't have any embellishments for this, and I don't usually put ribbon. I sometimes put twine on men's cards, but I didn't have anything. We do have baker's twine that is crumb cake, and it would have been fine, but I just didn't know where to put it. So if you have some ideas about that, that would be great. If you give it a go on your own, good for you. I do have some new embellishments coming in my order that I thought might work out. Adhesive backed textured dots, and they're kind of brushed brass or something looking to me. So I'll see when I get them if it's something that I want to use. Okay, so let's go ahead with this. And I'm just watching where I'm placing it. It doesn't go off the top. It doesn't go over my words. And I do want it stuck down. Quite often I let my leaves kind of flip up. These ones I think I want, I don't know if I want this one next and then the dark brown one, or do I want the dark brown one next? I should have played with this before I put the, no, I think I want it the other way. Okay, I did have them laid out like this, and I'm just, like I say, overlapping them a little bit onto here. And you can manipulate your leaves kind of where you want them because, and they're going to show a little bit on the other side. That's okay. I want that top one to stick down though. Okay, one more right here. Okay. Just like that. Ugh, I like the way that looks. All right. So it opens like this, happy birthday, and then to the inside, celebrate. So I think that makes a really nice masculine card. I would have chosen a different font, but I do like these blooming phrases. Sometimes I like a more block, font for a guy, male card, masculine card. All right, I will show you the other cards that I made using this same process. And again, like I said, I really like the way it shows the other side of your paper. So I hope you like that. I made this one. This was my first go at this using retired product. And again, I used some leaves. So this one could be, it's not too flowery looking, could be a male or a masculine card for a birthday. And I just did it like that. And again, this paper was nice. Both sides very pretty. And this is just foliage, leaves, and that's not really flowers. So I thought that one was nice. And then I did this one with our beautiful yellow paper. Love this paper, the Delightful Wishes, and it opens like that. So definitely a more female version, with I used the embossing folder that has the flowers on it, and the flowers here from Impressions of Bloom. No, not from Delightful Wishes. Sorry, Delightful Wishes, not Impressions of Bloom. All right, so those are the three very different cards that I did, and I hope you enjoyed that. Please let me know if you want a mini catalog that's coming up. You can let me know and I'll get it out to you. Should have, I'm hoping, some Christmas sets in there because I'm starting to get into the Christmas mode. That's a sad thing, isn't it? But I do go to a couple of markets in the fall, so I will be doing some Christmas things. Okay, I hope everybody has a great day and a great week.